Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain.
Connecting. Well, it says we're connecting. It looks like I am not in the Discord room, so I can't tell the volumes because it's hidden red and it shouldn't be. The pod track's moving up and down. The Streamlabs is moving side to side, and the butt.
I'm in Discord.
The butt is see how I got it lower and it's still in the red. I can't tell if we're distorting or not. I don't know.
I'm waiting.
This beautiful, wonderful, sonorous voice should not be distorting. It is 10 o'clock Thursday morning, the 13th, Los Angeles time, if you're listening live on kgxtradio.com. If you're listening to this on a replay, if you're listening to this on a rerun, well, shame on you. You're now listening to yesterday's news, but that's all I can tell you.
Christopher Sevick said sound is iffy. Jeremy B says 4x5. Let's have a great show.
See, there's something just a little bit Chengaders wrong there. Let me go back and try that again. Let's get to Dome. Do you want to close it out? Yeah, yes.
Bad distortion, Jeremy B says.
I knew there's something wrong there. Okay, let's go back up again. Bum, 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 bum. Let's open the butt, and we'll open the butt, and then we'll press play and open the butt.
That doesn't sound very nice.
What?
Opening the butt.
Well, I'm not saying open the. It's open. See, it's still. I'm going to lower it again. I'm going to lower it down to here. I know why. You know what? No. It's my fault. My fault, ladies and gentlemen. I saw what I did. I had the microphone set on live stream.
Oh.
I didn't have them pulled down for. It's going to be good now.
Is it good now?
It's going to be good now.
I'm waiting to hear from our KGXT.
It's going to be fine now.
Yes, we have a now good by Jeremy B.
See, Danny H will come by, or Jeremy will say, "You've got it on live stream settings there, General. It's too loud." I figured it out now. We're good.
All right, everybody's good. I'm not in a good mood today.
No, you've not been in a good mood for a few days now.
I hate the state of California.
Yeah,
I hate the county of Kern.
Yeah, without going into too much details, because I really don't want to get into too much details,
no.
but
I've been dealing with a lot of shit.
Yes, there's insurance things where the state, because we've turned 55 now, the county decides if they can get you on some sort of Medi-Cal program or Medicare, whatever it is. If they can do that, they get money from the state. Well, we didn't ask for that. We don't want that. We have insurance. And I won't get into what kind or who provides the insurance. No. It doesn't matter. But they interfered with our insurance because...
The county took it upon themselves
to apply us for Medi-Cal or something.
Without asking us.
Yeah. And then that dinged our insurance. And then now we have to go prove that we didn't ask for it, didn't want it, or we have to get denied. Then we can go back to our insurance.
Yes. And we've had the same insurance for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but it's one of those situations where your lovely queen, she does a lot in life. She does a ton of stuff. But when it comes to these type of phone calls with agencies, she's pretty sharp in the beginning. And then after she gets the runaround, she will fall to pieces. She just gets emotional. She gets upset because she doesn't understand why they're doing this to her. She takes it personally and she gets upset. She'll cry about it and going, "Why are they doing this? I didn't do anything wrong." And it always ends the same. She goes, "Hang on, let you talk to my husband." And then she puts me on the phone and then I take things over from there. And I think by her actions this morning, that's where we're at. I think I see a little ray of sunshine in her eyes because her husband's going to step in and take care of some of this. And she's going to bounce off and go, "I'm going to go back in the kitchen and bake something. I'm going to bake a cake while you're doing this."
It's just, I've had the runaround. I think I'm tired of being just told, "Oh, but it's they keep pointing their fingers back to each other." Like,
yeah, they did.
And I'm like, I'm making the phone calls that they're telling me to make and connecting and being on hold. I think I've spent 6 hours on hold.
Yeah.
Over the last couple days, waiting to talk to a person.
Those of you that are watching the video portion of this when it comes out, yeah, she's crying. She's got it. She's holding back the tears. Okay, look at me. As your husband, I'm telling you, I can help you with this. You give me the names and numbers. Tell me, I know the situation. Let me work on one aspect of this for you. I'll take it over. I got all of finally, I've got all my stuff unlocked. In the last 24 hours, a lot of the stuff that I was worried about, that I was negotiating, that I was trying to get with our Dayton move and leasing out one of our buildings and selling the property here and all of it came into focus for me. I had meetings. You saw me have
Yeah, I
meetings
know.
out here at the house. I got everybody set. I'm like, well, I went to bed last night. I was hurting because of my fucking gut pain, but I sat there going, okay, I'm finally caught up to even. Okay, all of my loose ends are now in the right spot. There's some things that need to be done over the next couple weeks. One big thing in June, but it's all on track.
Yeah.
It's right where it's supposed to be. So,
I know I don't want to pay him the money is what it comes down to.
Right.
It's like, don't touch my shit.
Right.
Everything's been fine. We haven't been late on any payments. We've done this thing. It's just, I don't want to give him any extra money because I feel like once I give him the extra money, they're going to go, well,
thank you.
Thank you. And you're not getting it back. So I'm fighting.
They want $1,500 extra a month.
Yes.
Until this gets resolved. That's what they're asking you.
Well, yeah, but will I get that money back once it gets resolved? That's
or
my other.
Will it ever get resolved?
Yeah, that's what I'm fighting on. It's like, I don't want to give them the money. I know better than to give the government money or whatever. So
your queen is not in a good mood, and Briggs went to the gym this morning. You guys know Briggs takes his morning ritual. He's getting his life on track. Starts with discipline and order. He gets up every morning and drives to the gym, does his workout, and comes home. That's the way he starts his day. He's not
looking
lazy.
Huge.
Oh, he's fucking huge.
He needs to stop.
He's gigantic. Yeah, he's fucking. He walks in the room the other night. I was like, holy shit, this is a grown ass man.
I'm asking him now to pick up things because I'm like, I don't want to. And he picks it up like with his little finger. Like, no problem, Mama. I got this.
Yeah.
And I used to carry him, so,
I saw him the other day. You dropped your keys under the car, and he reached down and lifted up the side of the car for you and goes, I got it, Mama. Here's your keys for you.
Oh, no.
I go, set the car down easy.
And when you're not here, he's the one that gets my groceries in, and he's doing what you used to do, like carry 10 bags. I got this, Mom. I'm like, holy crap.
35 bags in one trip. Yeah.
I guess that's why mamas have boys.
Yeah. Well, boys get to an age at where they love their mamas, and like they come back and like, Mom, whatever you need, I'll be there for you. Everything, they just worship their mamas. It's like that a lot, but I mean, there comes an age from 17 to 19 when, boy, they just feel it. They just turn around like, that's my mama, and I'm gonna help my mama. Yeah. And it's good to see. All of our boys have done that. It's good to see that happen.
Are you awake today?
Yeah. Hey, so just
you look dead.
He went to the gym. And came back with a coffee for you, one of your favorite coffees.
I know, but you look dead today.
I do. I'm just...
Yes, he got me a coffee on his way home from the gym.
And it's the one you wanted, right? It's the one you like?
Yeah.
See, I was going to have to go try to figure it out. He goes, no, I got it. It's on his phone someplace. He knew.
He knows what I want there.
So, I have not gotten solid sleep. There's a staff thread on Telegram and a semi-staff thread, and I posted those when I'm not sleeping, 2 a.m. or whatever.
And your doctor's on it. Not really smart.
He doesn't say anything, so
he's listing. He's putting. What has he got, or what kind of memory does he have? He has eidetic memory. He knows everything you're saying.
It's kind of funny. I went like 9 weeks in a row where I'm up at 2 a.m, can't sleep. My brain turns on, and I won't go to sleep for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Then I post, okay, trying to go back to bed, and everyone's like, Jesus, it's 4:30 in the morning. So this goes on for about 9 weeks. And I was talking to Dr. McDreamy about something, and I made a comment. I go, yeah, I just can't get focused. And he goes, well, it's no wonder with all the sleep you're not getting.
I know,
and I was like, reading. Oh, he is reading that.
Of course he is. Every time you post something, I'm like, Dr. McDreamy just noted that one.
Yeah, he's
noted
making
that
little
one.
notes.
He's writing it all in his file. So when you come to him, he's going to go, yeah.
Yeah, when are you going to tell me about your sleep problems? No, I wasn't ever going to mention it. I'm sorry. Wasn't going to bring it up. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm doing good. Hey,
that's good.
We're coming to. It's kind of a weird thing. People are fickle. I think we all are as a human race. And
I think as we get older, we're even worse.
Fans and viewers can be even more fickle.
Oh.
And the problem is that I wish I had a more callous attitude towards people, because when we do our Bottom of the Glass Nation shows, we mix it up. We do different things. We try different things, and it's a lot of fun, and we try to make it entertaining. We do the same boring stuff. And so there was a stretch there, especially when we were moving around and we were doing shows on the road, that we were taking calls. Remember, we got the little things so we could take phone calls, and we had a KGXT phone. And then it was not just taking text messages. We were actually taking calls. Then we were taking calls and playing music or commercials from the 70s and 80s or,
Right.
part of songs. And that was a lot of fun.
Right.
And then you get a section of people that go, you got to quit doing that. That's boring. You're doing it every week. I'm like, well, yeah, just when kind of ebbs and flows, it moves in cycles, and so now the last 3 episodes or 5 episodes really, we've gone away from no phone calls and other. But it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun.
I
doing the
like
shows.
it. I really like it a lot. But that's what drew them to Bottom of the Glass Nation in the first place, was you just ranting and raving about
Right.
whatever was on your mind that day.
But then now I'm getting phone calls. How come you don't take any phone calls again? I'm getting emails. How come you're not taking phone calls? How come we're not doing trivia? How come we're like, oh my God, you can't please.
But we have to mix it up too, because they don't realize that if you do the same show every time, it gets a little monotonous. Plus, they don't understand the setup for it.
No.
The setup behind the scenes for some of the trivia shows is crazy. But if we go on with no plan, no nothing, it's just like, let's sit down and whatever pops in your head.
If I take and do a trivia where we're going to play some quotes from movies, audio, or I'm going to play some intro from some 80s TV series, I'll bet it takes me 5 hours to do the setup. It is so hard to download those things, chop them up into segments, and get them on a disc and put them on the pod track, put them on each button of the. It's a lot more work than people think.
I know.
And I'm not super good at it. I mean, I'm sure someone who's into audios goes, oh, I could have that done in an hour, blah, 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 blah. Well, fuck off. I'm not as good as you. Yeah, it's not easy. So
I almost yawned.
You almost yawned. Grab that Coke or grab that coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to be spun out on sugar in that thing too. Wow.
So the setup for the shows is tough on those. It's a lot easier when I'm just going through the news and taking screenshots or just some stuff you guys have sent me. Those are pretty fun to do, and they're easier to do. They're easier to line up because even putting in 40 pictures into Streamlabs, you got to drag it. You got to size it. You got to put it where it goes. You got to relabel it. And then after you get all 40, and then you got to move around the order. It just takes time.
You don't have somebody that does that for you.
No. We've got to do all that ourselves.
That's okay. But I really like the last minute, just sit down, let's talk about whatever.
And then, but when we do that, we're like, hey, you guys want to they always want to ask us questions. They've got the audience has 1,000 questions when we're doing trivia.
You're right.
It's like, hey, fuckers, we're doing trivia tonight. Quit asking me questions about what my high school mascot was.
Right.
Knock that shit off. So then we do a whole show like, okay, it's Open Line Friday. Whatever you want to talk about, ask us any question. They're like, what's your favorite football team? What shoe did you wear in high school? I'm like, that's it. That's all you've got when it comes to it. Doesn't matter what you do. They always want the other thing. Goddamn redneck hillbilly inbred.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. So, but the last shows I thought have been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of great participation, and I'm really comfortable with the names. I'm the audience that goes by the in Facebook and in
we do
YouTube.
have a loyal following of quite a few.
It's the same people.
And I love
it's like I show up. You show up and they show up, and we know them. We're getting to know their names and stuff over the past years. I like it.
I wonder if back in the day when we watched television shows, like it's just popping in my mind like Happy Days. I know they film it on a different day, but could you imagine if the night that it came on television, if they were doing it live, if they thought, I wonder if the same people watch every week. I wonder if that ever crossed their mind.
I think it did when they would get out in public once in a while because there's a lot of interviews. What were you talking about? Happy Days. Donnie Most.
Yeah.
Ralph Mouth. He said in one interview I saw years ago, he says, I really enjoyed people saying, I clear my schedule. I have dinner early. I make sure that all my stuff is done so that I can sit and watch your show. When it's on.
Yeah, and we get instant gratification. We get the people showing up and telling us, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm here. I ran home as fast as I can. But back in the day, they never got that. They were hoping. Yeah. But we get it when the show goes on. We get to hear it. But I wonder if they felt the same way, those people. It's
gratifying and it's humbling to know that people
think they did it once a week.
Want to spend time with you. They want to spend time with us. It's a good feeling to know that we have friends. Because I want to. I mean, it'd be tough to turn this on and have one viewer, I'd still do the show, but it's nice knowing there's other people out there.
We started with one or a handful.
We did. That's true.
At one time.
I got to tell you something real quick about Jade.
Okay, hold on. I got to have a yawn.
Get your yawn. Okay, you good?
Okay, yeah, I'm good.
All right. So you're not going to believe this. This actually happened because Briggs walked in right after it happened.
Okay.
And he's like, Dad, what are you shaking your head about? I'm like, I got to tell you. So she walks in the other day and she's doing her thing where she holds her arms up in the air like she's a princess waiting for birds to land on her arms like she's Cinderella or Snow White. And he does her thing. And she just happened to be wearing camouflage. You know, the thing she was wearing, she had camouflage on. I want sweats or a sweatshirt or whatever it was. And she starts talking. She says, Dad, I was talking. And so I'm playing along and I'm like, Jade, I can hear you. I can hear you, but I can't see you, Jade. You're wearing camouflage. I can't see you. And she looks at me and I said, I was pretending I couldn't see you. You're wearing camouflage. And she looks down. She goes, Dad, these are just leaves and bushes and branches.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? She goes, this isn't camouflage. These are just a lot of different colors of green, like leaves and stuff. It was clearly camouflage. I mean,
my goodness. Did you have to explain that?
I guarantee it was sold as camouflage. That's what was on the tag. That's what it was.
But did you have to explain that to her, that's what is
I just
camouflage?
Said, no, I said, you know what? You're right. My mistake. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to argue with her. I'm like, oh, you want to get into a discussion on trying to convince her that what she's wearing is camouflage?
I thought you would have.
Oh, I just like, get out of here. Please go. Just leave. I can't deal with one more dumb thing today. I just didn't want to. I'm like, oh, you know what? My mistake. You're right. There you are. Oh, look, there you are. You're not wearing camouflage, and finish the conversation. But the second part of the conversation was equally as dumb.
Oh, no.
Now, you know that she's missed a lot of work. We talked about it on the podcast. It's okay if you call. I can call in sick, Dad. I've got sick time.
That's what she said. She says, I have sick time. And I have
on the books. I've got some sort of reparations time for when it was too hot or too cold.
I don't know. There was a bunch of different excuses. I've never heard a company
it's just
give
so
as many
ridiculous.
things.
I'm like, how do they give you so much time off? And so what I'm learning is...
and then she left early. Like they'd give her,
voluntary time off.
That's right, voluntary time off.
She goes, they come to us at noon and go, how many people want to leave early today? And she always does.
Yes.
I was like, fuck no, I'm here to make money. So she does all this all the time, swears she's not getting in trouble.
Right.
Promises me her last employee review was great. Then she sits down, she goes, I'm in trouble. I need to pay my registration, renew my car, smog check, and she's going on. And I said, so? What do you need to tell me for? She goes, well, I need to borrow some money and pay it back. I go,
The Bank of Gen X talks?
You wouldn't need to if you went to work. Now I got mad. I said, what about all those times you left early? What about all those times they offered you double pay? And you told me the night before, I'm going in tomorrow, Dad. It's double pay.
I'd be all over that shit for double time.
All day long tomorrow if I go. And then I wake you up at 9 and go, weren't you going in? She goes, I decided not to. It was voluntary.
If that's true, double time, a lot of companies, that's a pretty big thing to pay out.
It's stupid for her not to go do this.
If they're offering it, you go get it. And then
it's even dumber to come to me and go, I need money. I told her, I said, say it out loud. She goes, well, what do you want me to say? I go, I want you to look me in the face, say, Dad, I need to borrow money because I'm stupid and lazy and I didn't work the hours that were offered to me. It's much easier to borrow money from you. Now, I said, do you realize how hard it's going to be for you to pay it back? Now you got to go work those extra hours, dumbass. Oh, I lit into her like you wouldn't believe. Then I ended with, go borrow it from your boyfriend. Oh. She hasn't asked me for the money yet. She hasn't given me an amount or anything. She left and she went.
That's why she's not here.
She's been gone for 3 days and she went with her boyfriend to go do the license stuff and she calls me crying from the DMV.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, she called me crying and I go, what's wrong? I thought she was in a car accident the way she was upset. She goes, I just waited through the DMV line for an hour and a half. I finally got my number called. I got up to the counter and they said they don't do this stuff anymore. You have to do it online. You can't do it at a window. And I went, okay, what do you want me to tell you? She goes, well, what do I do now? I go, well, figure your shit out.
I'm sure it said that in the paper that they sent her.
Probably did. Yeah.
Do you realize also she still does not have her driver's license?
What?
Remember when she said her driver's license went to the old address?
Yeah.
She doesn't. She never got it fixed. She never got it. Somebody has it, her driver's license, over at that old address.
Her physical license.
Yes.
Wow. No, I did not know that. I don't know how much you can, people say, look at, you're responsible. Gen Z is all fucked up because of the way you guys raised them. This is Gen X's fault. This is your fault. I'm like, you motherfuckers. Have you heard the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink? I don't care how many times I tell these motherfuckers, this is what you should be doing. They do it wrong every time. Then they come back and go, things are all fucked up. What do I do? Well, let's try it this way. And they don't. Then they come back, yeah, it's all messed up. What do I do? I don't know. Quit asking me for advice that you're not going to take. That's getting to be a little irritating.
My dad was tough, too. There were times I maxed out my credit card, and he goes, I don't know what to tell you. Guess you got to go get another job. And I'd be like, oh. He goes, my dad would say, you have to go get another job just to pay your credit card.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, shit.
Well, let's be fair. You're not really good with that, with money and that. You're a typical girl. You spend and spend and spend.
Of course they do.
And I'll tell a story you always get mad at. When we first got married 20-some years ago,
oh my gosh, you're going to say this comment.
You had 2 credit cards, and you were paying $250 a month on each card. And they were like, I don't know, $4,000 cards or $3,000 cards. And you go, look, I don't understand this. Can you explain this to me? I'm paying like $200 a month and my balance never goes down. I go, yeah, you're just paying the interest. You're never going to use that. You can't ever charge on that card again. It's maxed out and you're just paying the interest, which is like 18 and 20%. You're like, yeah. I don't understand. I give them money every month. It's been like 2 years. And because, you'd move back home and I'm like, yeah, okay. So that was one of the things your dad made fun of me about. He's like, yeah, you're going to figure this shit out. I said, no, I'm going to have to pay off the card and then close the account. So I had to take care of both of your credit cards account, pay them down to 0, and then take them from you.
I think I'm better now. I think because, you say, you do most of the finances, right?
Yeah, mostly, yes.
And you tell me, but there's lots of times where you go, okay, you've got to stop spending on this card.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty good about that. You say stop, I stop.
You are so much better than you were, even 25 years ago. You had no concept of what interest was. And, you were one of those dingy girls that like, how can I be out of money? I still have checks left in my checkbook. And you've come such a long way with that. You grasp all of it now.
Yeah.
You really have a good understanding of how it all works, the fundamentals.
The other thing, I was so naive back in the day. I would instead of fighting for what I felt was right, I would just give the money, like this thing of the insurance. Yeah. I would have panicked and went,
I better just pay it.
Here's my money and take it. But now I'm dad going, no, it's my money and I don't want to pay you.
Early on in our marriage, I taught you to question things. You say, well, we have this bill and it's like $235 with the doctors. I got to pay it right now. I said, how do you know? And you said, what do you mean? And how many times did you start questioning bills that the insurance company had already paid? And then they were trying to double dip.
They did that, especially when I was sick. Remember that?
Yeah.
When the bills
cancer
kept coming in, and I was like, wait a second.
Right. And the thing was, you had to learn to question and go, you sure? I want a complete accounting of what the insurance is paid. Sure enough, line 33, it's already been paid. And they were double dipping. And they always say, oh, no, I'm sorry. We weren't trying to double dip. That's a clerical error.
It was a clerical error.
We're sorry. Yeah, fuck off. But you would just pay everything back then. If the letter came in the mail, you owed it, you paid it.
Right.
You have come so far in questioning that kind of stuff. You're a much more of an independent and strong woman than you ever were before.
Thank you.
And I would say some of that was me guiding you, but a lot of it was you just toughening up and going after it.
Yeah, and sometimes getting shit on multiple times and going, shit, I should have known better or whatever. After the fact, after it happened, you sit back and go,
God damn it.
I could have went a different way.
Well, you've come a long ways. There's men looking at their women right now, nodding across the room going, yeah, you've done the same. You've really come a long way. And there's men looking at women across the room right now while they're listening to this podcast going, you're just as dingy as he's described her back there. You haven't matured one goddamn bit, which is why I handle everything.
I think part of it, I love my parents. I think my parents did really well with me, but I think there's part of it that they're silent generation.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents are silent generation. They weren't boomers. So there were things that weren't discussed. Money, religion, politics you did not bring it up with my parents whatsoever. So when money situations came up, it was something I had to learn. I was just told you pay your bills, pay them on time, and just, there was no discussion of what happens or how to save or, how to question things. I was not allowed to ask those questions.
We've only had one of our 8 kids who has listened to us speak about just the basics of finance and listened and done well. 1 out of 8.
And guess what? That one, she called me I think it was last week. Oh, she's here last week.
Yeah.
She told me she paid off her student loans.
Wow.
And she has her car is paid for.
Right.
Her student loans are paid for. And she goes, I got a couple more things and I'm going to be debt free.
But she's working hard.
She's working very hard.
Not spending money frivolously. And, her boyfriend does the same thing. He's working hard to pay off their stuff. I couldn't, the other 7 kids, and not that we're perfect financially with stuff. We fucked up things before, but we still know what's right and wrong. We mostly get it right, but not always. But with our other 7, they don't listen. Not even fucking close. They don't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
And then every one of them comes back and goes, hey, I kind of fucked this up and I'm kind of in a hole right now. What do I do?
Didn't she ask us for a loan at one time? I can't remember. I don't know if she asked us, but it didn't pan out or something, but she did come to us about something.
I don't know. So anyway.
She always comes batting her eyes at you going, Daddy, if you could just make a donation.
I know that something's serious when this one daughter comes and sits really next to me, like on the couch. She'll sit right next to me, kind of hold my hand and bat her eyes and goes, Daddy, I have a question. I kind of feel like the whole world's taking advantage of me here. What should I do? Then I know something like, oh, here it comes.
But she listens when she does that.
I should just tell her my wallet's on the shelf. Don't take all the money, okay?
So you've been working for like the last couple weeks on Shopify. How's it going? Are we?
Yeah,
Is it live yet?
It's live. Like if people found it, they could go buy stuff.
Okay, but you haven't launched it.
No, because we're still trying to. We've had people buy some things and go, received it in the mail.
Yeah.
This is really good quality. It's really good. It's good ink. It looks great. But we've also had a few products that show up and go, this is kind of shitty. I kind of wish I didn't buy it.
Okay.
So we've pulled those things, because we don't know. We're doing print on demand sources. So we're still in the phases of that. So I put stuff up there. We do have beta testers. If any of you out there listening want to help us with that, just give me an email, genxdad@genxtalks.com. If you don't mind going on there and buying something, 1 or 2 little things, letting us know. We can't afford to buy one of everything, so you guys have been helping with that.
Well, we could buy one of everything.
No, we couldn't. Stop it. Briggs was super helpful. One of the biggest problems I was having was some of the items we're choosing now are embroidery. Mm-hmm. They're not just ink.
I heard you struggling with that
because they don't give you a lot of guidance with that. Even they have a great live help agent that very good, but they don't always give you the exact thing. Briggs was able to sort one of them out. I go, look, just go in there, look at the alert, fix it. And he was on it for about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but he got it done and he showed me what to do differently. So now I'm avoiding a lot of the embroidery problems because I'm doing the designs differently. So that's a big help. Now, once the site launches, what's to make people want to buy any of our stuff? And it's not just, all of it doesn't just say Gen X Talks.
Correct.
We're doing nostalgia stuff, but there's 10 million sites out there that have 100 million products. I have to make ours more clever than theirs.
Right.
I got to use my brain and go back and make some stuff that fits. I will tell you, that artist that came and did the cartooning of you, all the sexy poses of you. He did cartooning a long time ago. He did the dollar bill towel over you. I don't
remember that.
He's got like 10 of. He did the pinup girl pictures of you. He drew. He was an artist, and he sent us.
I kind of remember, but okay.
They were pinups, and some of them were nudes where you don't see anything. Like there's a towel over you, or you're in a bathing suit. Those seem to be selling rather well.
Oh my gosh.
I put those on a phone case.
You don't even ask me.
No. I put it on a phone case to see if it would work. And
if I find that on somebody's phone case,
I sold that, and like 10 phone cases sold. I'm like, oh, well, I'll try another one. I put up a pillow with your face on it. Boom, 3 pillows sold. I'm like,
you've got to be kidding
no,
me. But you're on the other side.
Well, of the pillow, it was
yeah, it's not just me.
No, but they sell when I put your stuff up there. So yeah, I need a cartooning app that I can cartoon you myself.
Oh my gosh, no.
So I'm
not even supposed to be a part of this Gen X Talks thing.
Too late.
It's
You're a
you
huge
and your
part of
son.
it. Yeah, whatever. Also, this is what's pissing me off. I told you I'm not going to do the store until you get a separate bank account, so the store money goes into the separate account.
Yep.
So I can keep track of it.
Yep.
I know it's not much.
Right.
And you didn't do it, and you won't do it, and you can't do it. And there's all these stories. Well, guess what? Every little thing we sell goes right into your account.
Amen, brother.
I have to go back and try to figure out, okay, where is this? And
it's really easy. It's labeled.
It's dumb.
It's lovely.
It's stupid because everything gets paid off of my credit card.
Oh.
Let's say you spend $300 on my credit card.
There is a Gen X Talks credit card.
And then I put it on my credit card for $300, and then it's, let's say, $400 worth of stuff. So if you paid the $300 on my credit card, you put the $400 back on my credit card's now $100 ahead. But it's not how it works.
No.
It takes $300 off my card, puts the $400 in your account.
Yes, it does.
And then when I go to get my $300 back, it's gone because you spent it on other Gen X Talk stuff. You see?
Bummer.
That's why I want a different account.
Then go get one.
All the Gen X Talk stuff is in your name.
Oh, that's just too bad.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I'm just telling you, I'm not. Here I am working my ass off, and all you're doing is cha-ching, $20 here, $23
Sounds about
there,
right.
$42 here. Oh, whatever. So yeah, that's how it's going. But
like
it's up and running, but it is still testing. I probably have another. I'd probably like to have double the items available for people to look at before they go onto the site. I just don't want it to look bare. It'd be like if you open up a supermarket and only 4 of the aisles are filled.
Yeah, you know what you need to do is go to that. It's somewhere in our documents, that thing that Allie did of all your famous sayings.
Yeah, I don't even know how many people will remember those. I know where it is. I've used it.
That's what you need to go do is go get the stuff out of there. Those would be fun on mugs and stuff.
I tried putting images, black and white images, or cartooning myself, but every time I put them up on a phone case or a deck of cards or something, it goes, "You have exceeded the handsomeness limit."
Oh my goodness!
And it won't.
I want proof that happened.
Every time I can't do it.
You take a screenshot.
I'm gonna have to get someone uglier, a little less handsome.
Oh my gosh.
To stand in for me on those items.
You know, I thought the days were over. Haven't seen it in a while, but I ended up taking a shower after you this morning.
I wasn't. Did you erase it because I wasn't done? I need to take a picture of it, but I have my phone. I know. Shower drawings.
Drawings on the glass.
I know. Okay, look, I'm not going to get into this real heavily, but I think...
Oh, you probably are.
I think I found a way for free energy forever. Yep.
Okay.
Now, we talked about this a little bit. You take 2 magnets and you push opposites together. I mean,
we're going back to this again.
Yeah, listen. Yes,
let me sit back and listen. Go ahead.
You go. Story time with the general. Back in my
magnets.
day. Right. All right. So
we all know how magnets work.
If you take 2 of the same polarity and you push them together,
and they repel.
Correct. And if you have a big magnet, let's say the side of a chalkboard eraser, you couldn't do it. You're not strong enough to physically push them together because they repel.
Correct.
All right. What is going on between those 2 magnets? We can't see it. It's invisible. But there is some massive energy going on if those magnets are repelling themselves.
Okay.
So imagine 2 magnets as big as a house. One in the ground, just sticking up a little bit, and you take and you force another big magnet, big as a house, down on top of it maybe 6 inches apart. There's 6 inches of daylight between the two magnets, but you've pushed them together with the same polarity. You know, if you let that top magnet go as big as a house, it's going to shoot to the moon. There's some energy there repelling. Now, we can look between the two magnets. We can't see anything.
Okay.
So the first thing I got to do is be able to see it. I got to invent some glasses that you can put them on and you can see all that energy exploding, molecules racing around in there. I mean, there's stuff happening, man. Then once I can see it, I got to find a way to harness it. Because if you can just leave those two magnets that far apart from each other and you can see that energy and you can harness that energy, it'd go forever.
Don't you think the molecules are condensed?
Yeah.
Like they're
powerful. There's stuff going
together.
on, man. There's stuff going on. I mean, can you imagine?
Wherefores and what have you?
Yeah, lots of wherefores and what have you. Can you imagine putting on glasses and seeing what is actually going on between
That'd be
two?
cool.
There's something going on, man.
You think?
Yeah, forget the CERN collider over there in Europe. No. This one's the one. That's right. The Gen X talks magnet theory. This is going to save the world on energy.
Guess what we're going to be doing in Dayton?
Calling Elon. We'll call Elon up and say, check this out, man.
You can get a hold of him on X. You just have to at Elon Musk.
I'm going to call him up and say, dude, just come out here, hang out for a day, just one day.
By the way, John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard is putting echoes out for Elon Musk to get a hold of him. He wants to work with him.
Yeah, well.
And I see it all the time. So you do it. So you send it out.
Yeah, but then isn't that going to make John Schneider feel bad?
Why? Because he's contacting you first?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
so
maybe yours is more interesting
I'm
than
going to
what
have
he's doing.
him up to Dayton. I'm going to sit out there on the property. I'm going to draw out my idea in the dirt with a stick.
Okay.
And go, see what I'm saying here?
So you need a rocket scientist to help you out.
Oh, yeah. Got to have a nerd. I got to get
You are a nerd.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You like Star Trek and Star Wars.
Football, baseball, basketball.
Don't lie to the
whiskey
people.
drinking, cigar smoking, not a nerd.
Don't lie to yourself.
So I got to have a nerd to figure this out. But, it's not like that time that I wanted to invent a can of spray paint that would deflect CHP radar.
Oh my God.
I just needed a nerd to develop the paint. It's not even that bad. This is way better.
Oh my God.
So what you saw on the shower door was me drawing the two houses and trying to figure out what's going on in there. How do you see?
I thought it was a Dayton drawing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I can see where you think that. But you got to find a way to see 200 bazillion molecules fighting with each other.
You should have asked your nerdy son.
He wouldn't know. He didn't
never know.
He's stuck in some video game. He's on some video game kick with him and his friends now. He came in this morning with his big accomplishment. This is not a lie. He says, you should have seen me last night, Dad. We won on a rage. We won 6 in a row. I'm like, wow, life's little accomplishment. do you have a job yet? No, but we won 6 in a row. I said, how much does that pay? Well, not much, but Dad, you just need a break once in a while.
I thought he has a job.
Yeah, you had a hard day of doing nothing. You got to relax and unwind with some video games.
I thought the kid got a job, another job.
I don't know. I haven't seen him do anything. Have you seen him do anything?
I don't remember what the next phase is, but I know he interviewed for something. I thought he got the job.
I offered him individual gigs, and he jumped on it. Because once we go up to Dayton and we got to rent a house while we build and get our storage, we're just going to go truckload after truckload after truckload. And I thought, okay, you have to be 18 to rent and drive a U-Haul, right? So if I can go up there once with him, like teach him how to drive a U-Haul truck, he's a very good driver. Of all the things he's fucked up on, he's really good at driving.
He is.
If you can get him to not wear headphones, he'd be a perfect driver. I mean, he doesn't understand.
He knows how to hook up a trailer too.
How dangerous that is. But if he could drive, once I did it once with him, I could just go, all right, let's load it up with your friends, take it up there, put it in storage, bring it back, and another one, and just pay him. Pay him good money every time you drive. Here's your gas money. Here's your food money. Here's some cash for doing the job. Go do it.
Right.
And he could just keep earning money doing that every time. We'll get a lot of stuff moved. So he jumped at that chance. We haven't done it yet.
You had a visitor here at the house yesterday.
2 actually. Which one are you talking about?
Well, the one in the morning, we finally got a realtor to.
Yeah, we found a realtor. He looks like Steph Curry.
A little bit.
He looks a lot like Steph Curry. He's 12. He's 12 years old, young. He walked in the house, and what did I tell him? I said, "You're too young to be an effective realtor." He goes, "What?" I go, "You're young. You can't know this business. You got out of high school 10 minutes ago. No fucking way."
Well, he asked us, he asked me while we were walking around the house, he says, how many kids do you have? I said, we had 8. And he goes, how old's the oldest? And I said, 32. And he goes, what school did he go to? Because he asked here.
Yeah.
He's from the area. And I told him, and he goes, oh, I didn't go there. But he was trying to figure out if he knew any of our kids because they're about the same
he's that age. Right.
I was like, wait a second.
He did the usual thing, comes up, he goes, well, sir, how much money are you looking to get out of this place? And I said,
that ain't happening.
I go, I'm not fucking telling you. He goes, what? I go, no. See, this is a used car game. You're going to figure out how much money I need, and then you're going to figure out a backwards way to get it, maximizing your end.
Sorry.
Stop yawning. That's 3. I said, what you're going to do is you're going to tell me how much you can sell this house for, and then you're going to tell me the fees involved, and whatever I net, whatever number you tell me, I'm going to tell you if that's enough or not. If it's not, I'm going to find somebody else.
Oh, shit.
He's like, oh. So then he sits down here. He goes, well, let's look at this.
I know.
You get on your computer. I'll get on my computer. And I'm going to send you some stuff. We're going to look at different listings.
Like we've never done that before.
We're going to compare and compare and compare. And I go, why? Well, they want to be able to show you in the neighborhood what this, what that. I go, stop.
My house is not like
Go, stop. I said, if you can't just tell me what my house should probably sell for, get close. If you don't already know that, then you're not experienced.
Ouch.
You should be able to walk in here. You're a realtor. It's what you do full time. You've been doing it for 10 years. You should be able to walk into a house. You know what neighborhood, what part of town you're in, the size of the house, the age of the house. You know when this track was built. This is your job. But look at that and say, this has a swimming pool. This has chickens. You kind of get an idea in your head. You should know pretty close to where the moment you walk through the whole thing. And you want to sit here and have me go through 45 listings and compare shit? I don't care.
I don't have time for that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I go, here's the things. We got a block wall all the way around the property. That's super rare in our town. We got RV parking that's gated in behind it with a 50 amp outlet. We've got a pool. We've got a built-in barbecue that holds 12 people. I said, there's 47 solar panels on the roof. We got all the way done. I go, okay, put that all in your head and give me a fucking number.
The amenities is
I said,
crazy.
don't sit here and try to talk me into it. Your job, and you should already know most of it, is to give me a number close. He goes, well, I'll call you tonight and I'll give you an exact number. I said, okay, but if you don't call, I'm finding somebody else. And if your number's way off, I'm calling somebody else. I never gave him where I thought we should be.
Understood.
And that was it. He was like,
did
okay.
he call you?
Yeah, he did. He finally did.
Did the numbers line up with what we need?
Really pretty close. Like where I wanted to be, he's like 93%. And
Wow.
so I'm just going to raise the asking price about that 7% or 5% more to get where I want to be. And I could come down at this number he gave. We could absolutely do what we're doing. We'd be fine. And he says, I guarantee I can sell it for this. No problem. I said, good. Then let's go a little higher. I told him, I said, I got to head back up to Nevada really soon. But when I get back, let's sit down. You're the guy. Let's go over some stuff and let's start getting on this. And he goes, okay. So I got that out of the way. The second guy who came by was the guy who'd been renting one of our smaller buildings in town for years. And, I was I've known him 20 years now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, back when he used to work for Chase Bank, remember? He used to be an agent up at Chase in Oildale. And we were talking about that. He goes, I've known you almost 20 years now. I said, whoa. Oh my God, you're right. And I let him, he was starting his construction business and I let him have the building for free.
You did.
For like 3 years because I said, I'll tell you what, you can have this building free rent, but you fix my other buildings. You have to just do it.
Kind of like a property manager.
And he did. He took care of me on all this stuff. So we were good there. But now he wants to buy the building we're in and he wants to do a lease option like, hey, if I give you this much, so much of it goes towards a down payment. We came up with a good number and he wants to do the whole thing March 1st.
Wow.
So that solidifies that one building. So, and I've made some calls and some arrangements on some other stuff. Within the last 24 hours, a lot of things that I was stressing about trying to make them work came together for me.
Good.
And like Billy the Kid used to say, there's many a slip between a cup and a lip. Doesn't mean you're going to drink that water. You may end up wearing it. But, it's everything is lined out with good people that I've known for decades. So I'm on the right path with all of this stuff.
Good. I'm glad.
The next thing I did was call the Sun Valley Fox. Texting. I've been texting him off and on every 4 hours for the last 3 days. And I told him where we're at with stuff. So he's on board with, He knows exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and he's going to help when we get up there, help get the things lined out.
Good.
So there's a lot of things that are moving in that direction now, which weren't working.
The only thing the realtor was telling me when we were walking through the house is, you got to declutter. I'm like, no shit.
You have a fucking mess in that whole house. Yeah.
Well, he saw all the boxes because I've been trying to pack something once a day and pack and pack. I go, all these boxes are going to be gone. Those are the ones that are going to Nevada and going to storage and stuff like that. I go, believe me, it's going to get empty. And he goes, but then he backs up and he goes, but I don't want it too empty. I'm like, come on, man. Because he wants it already kind of set. He goes, I really don't want it to be completely empty because he wants people to see like what will fit in each room and stuff like that.
I just told him you were messy. I go, she's
not messy. This is the worst the house has ever looked.
This is the way we've lived our whole life. She's a horrible housekeeper, blah, 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 blah. So
whatever. Yeah. So, hey, I went and had a mammogram last week.
I told you I would do that for you.
I hate mammograms.
I will look for lumps for you. You don't have to worry. When you say, hey, it's time for a mammogram, I say, okay, walk on over here. I will check for lumps. And if there's lumps, I'll say something. If there's not, we can go on. You absolutely refuse to let me do this.
I'm sorry. But I have to tell you about now I have had mammograms on and off for years now. And there's times where I go in there and it's not even just mammograms, it's doctor visits. You know, they give you a time and then you never get in on the exact time. It's always like 20, 30 minutes, could be longer or whatever. And this time they took me early. There was nobody there. And I got in and out, and I think I was in and out in like 20 minutes. Everything was done. Remember when I texted you? I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I said to the person that was doing the mammogram, I go, why is this going so fast today? Guess what they said?
What?
She told me that February is the best month to have it done.
Why?
I said, yeah, that's what I said. I go, why? And she goes, because January is kind of like insurance renewal. So people have to get their deductible paid or something. Oh. So she says February comes and then they have a deductible that they have to meet, so people cancel. And so she said, that is a really good month to get in. And I'm like, this has been the fastest I've ever done it. Because you have to realize you register, then women have to go in the back and change and this whole big thing, you know? And I was in and out of there in 20 minutes.
And it's taken them 30 years for them to tell you February.
February is
this
the
is
month.
Information they could have been giving you years ago.
I'm passing it on to everybody out there. February.
So here's one for you. I got to go on record just saying something out loud.
What's up?
Unlike you, if you come in to our bedroom very late at night, or you get up very early in the morning, you are the most rude, bang around, slam doors individual I've ever known. I come in, I'm quiet. I don't let things hit the floor. I try to be very quiet. I close doors and things. I'm careful with all of the shit.
You think you are.
I try to be. You don't. You just slam shit around and could give a shit. Lights come on, windows go open. You don't fuck it. So in my effort to be quiet, I try not to turn on lights. And I try to take care of some stuff and get in and out of there pretty quick. I want to go on record saying I'm going to call Trump and see if he can sign an executive order. This is kind of important.
For what?
I don't think toothpaste and hemorrhoid cream should come in the same tube. I'm just saying. That should not be something I have to figure out in the dark. I'm just bringing that to your attention that I may turn on the light now. From now on, the light may go on because I ain't making that mistake again. No fucking way.
You know what wakes me up in the morning? Is you're grunting and groaning and the bed. You have not been able to master getting out of bed without like rolling me off the bed practically. You make so much noise.
I'm stiff in the morning, man. Everything.
That's what wakes me up.
Yeah. Well, I've got 362 joints that need to be lubricated, and I got to.
And then it's your chair, your damn chair.
I love my chair. What's wrong with my chair?
It makes so much noise when you sit in it. In the middle of the night, I know when you sit there. In the morning, I know when you sit there.
That's because I'm a big guy, and when I sit down on that chair, the chair goes, oh my God!
I'm waiting for the day it snaps.
It's about to. I leaned back, and I could feel one of the wheels starting to get like it was going to snap.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
Well, I don't do it intentionally. I'm trying to be quiet. You're just rude when you in the morning. You could give a shit. You slam stuff around and knock stuff. Yeah, that's what you think. If you're up the whole
That's what you did
house,
to our kids for all those years.
They were kids. I didn't do it to you.
Get the fuck up.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, I was checking the Gen X Dad Talks email the other day. Did you sign up for Spanish classes or something?
No, it's no. You remember the kid had started a Spanish channel for Gen X Talks like a year and a half ago or whatever it was, and he had met a guy at VidCon who was opening a company to do translating.
Oh, yeah.
And the kid, they were translating it, and then Briggs would take the translated video to one of his friends who spoke Spanish fluently and said, no, it's not quite right. I mean, it's a literal translation to Spanish, but that's not how people talk.
No.
It's a little off. And so the guy who actually had the company was excited to work with Briggs because he's like, okay, then tell me, let's improve this. Let's make some changes. Briggs did it for a little while. I don't know how many videos he translated, 5 or 8 or whatever it was. And let me back up. The reason we did is because the last few years we've been to VidCon, people that have had success stories with Spanish channels, Mr. Beast is one of them. And they said, well, you've already got the work done. You've already got your videos. If you translate them to Spanish, like 3/4 of the planet speaks Spanish. You just got to get it out there to them and you can make a lot of money and on and on. So of course we're thinking, oh, money, that'd be great. It'd be nice to have some money along with this. So we were translating them and we were going to try to put it out there. But every creator who says they've done this, they all had the same message. Takes about 8 months before you even see your viewers go up.
But that's true on every channel,
Sure.
whether it be English or whatever.
6
it
to
takes
8
a while.
months.
It's got to be consistent.
He didn't keep up with it. So we just let it sit there. The Spanish channel has done nothing for over a year. Well, I get an email the other day and it's this new company and says, we will translate your video. And it said 2 things. One was translated and the other one was voiceover. And I thought, what's the difference? They're not going to, if they're translating, were they going to take my voice as an AI and translate my voice into Spanish? And the other one is a voiceover with a different type of voice. Anyway, so they said they'd give you a free trial. They said, give us a video and tell us what language. So I just grabbed one of the kids' shorts and said, here's the link. And they sent it back this morning.
Yeah, and?
Well, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know if it's any good or not. I went into Discord and I said, does anybody speak Spanish in here? Because I need to ask somebody if they can listen to it and see if it sounds right.
Is it in your voice and the kid's voice?
I can't tell. One of them sounds like it might be. The other one doesn't. But Shiloh answered. She goes, well, her daughter or daughters speak super fluent Spanish. And I said, hey, then let's connect later today in privately or something, and let me go through this. I just need someone to say,
verify it.
Yeah, holy shit, that sounded great. So then I emailed them back and said, listen, what's the gig on this? How do we do it? He goes, it's $10 a minute. So I said, well, that's great because most of our videos are 1 minute long. So I said, do you want to do them one? If Shiloh comes back and says these all sound great, they translated perfectly and they're still funny, then I want to go to those guys and go, well, here's 100 videos, send them back and I'll give you $100. That's 100 videos. And I can put them all, that's 100 videos that can go on the Spanish channel.
Wow.
Well,
would you release them all at once?
All at once, yeah.
You'd flood it.
Because here's the deal. It's like I try to get Briggs to help me with Clapper. It's like I don't want to put a funny video on Clapper and have it be the only one. You'd like them to binge watch. You'd like to have 10, 12, 15 videos up there. So when you put them up, if they find one they like, they can binge watch through your other ones.
Go to Clapper. I've never heard of Clapper. I don't hear anybody talking about Clapper.
Okay, we got 20 or 30 videos on Clapper. Most of them get 1 to 200 views. We have one.
Oh, you're telling a number? I thought you weren't supposed to say a number.
We have one with 100,000 views. We have some with 50,000 views, 40,000 views. So it's a beginning thing, and it's working out great.
I've never heard of anybody on Clapper.
And I had to shut my phone off. I had it set up for my phone.
Oh, notifications.
Yeah. So I turned off all the notifications on my phone to just people that are new followers.
Yeah.
It's still blowing up my phone. So It's growing fast, but the Spanish channel would be the same way. I want to put up 100 videos like on a weekend.
Yeah.
And then send them 50 more and 50 more. Give people something to binge watch. And then every time that I make a new video with Brigger, when we edit it and we post it everywhere, I'll send them the link. So the Spanish channel would probably get it 4 or 5 days later, but at some point we would be all caught up.
Right.
And you go through and you post on YouTube, Facebook Personal, Facebook Blue. We post on X now because you want to. We still post on TikTok, even though TikTok's a bunch of fucking assholes.
Right.
And we added Clapper to the list. There's just one more app. You click on it. The video's already done. You just post it.
So where are the people going to listen in Spanish?
Well, that's the thing is I got to get on the help. I got to get on the help section with YouTube and ask and say, if it's a Spanish channel and it's all in Spanish, do you guys put it out there to South America? Do you put it to places that speak Spanish, or do we need to be on a different
platform?
Do we have to be on YouTube Spanish or something? I don't know that. I don't know what the rules are there. I got to ask.
Interesting.
I don't, with the way YouTube works, I think they push things where they go, period. That's just my thought. But, well, I have to see. But the idea was if Shiloh can tell me it's perfectly translated and it's funny, then I go back to these guys and go, okay, let's set up a thing where we do it because it's $1 a minute. We could even do some of our $10 a minute. We could even do some of our other videos that are 3 minutes long. It's not a big deal. I couldn't do all that money right now on all of them, but I can do it in chunks. And if they're right, if all these people that are making all this money are correct, I have to be consistent and keep doing it for 6, 8, 10 months, and then maybe it'll turn. But you have to put it in. That's why Briggs didn't want to. He just gave up. It's like, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking work. And that's why neither one of us touched it for over a year. But I think now if this translation team does a good job, that takes a lot of it off my plate. And I think I have enough time to send them a link and when they send it back, post it. It doesn't require a lot from me. I think I can help get that going. So it's just one more thing. If it goes 6, 8, 9, 10 months and it doesn't work, no, it didn't work. But if it does, like Mr. Beast said one time, he goes, I make 6 times the money on my Spanish channels that I do on my English ones. He goes, because there's more people.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, So instead of us making $18, we can get 6 times $18. So that's what you saw is me going. It's
okay.
I'm not learning Spanish, but I'm going back and forth with that. That's my gig on that one.
All right.
So, you know what? There was a thing on there. Where did it go? Oh, I wrote down something because the fans had asked us questions and we never got to them. They always send us stuff and they want to talk about. So real quick, questions from the fans, from the followers, from the viewers. What was each of you's first jobs and where? First paying job.
First paying job?
And don't tell me you were babysitting Mrs. McGillicuddy's cat or something.
No, my first job was working with my mom at her place of business downtown Los Angeles, like in the heart of LA. My mom was this executive secretary and I was doing a bunch of filing and stuff like that. It was a summer job down there and I hated it so much. I shouldn't say this out loud because the kid's here, but my mom caught me sound asleep in the boardroom. She got so mad I got fired. I actually was paid by the company, but my mom caught me sound asleep in the boardroom because I hated it so much. She fired me. That was my very first job.
You're stubborn, though. I could see you doing that. How old were you?
Oh, probably 14, 15.
You just didn't want to be there.
I didn't want to do it. It was horrible. I hated it.
Wow.
I hated it. My next job, because I played sports in high school and everything, was when I graduated. Well, I worked like 3 months in fast food, hated it, didn't want to do it. But then I got a job at a florist right out of high school, which I absolutely loved and learned so much.
What does it have to do with sports?
Well, because I didn't work in high school.
I got this job because I was involved in sports.
No, I didn't work in high school because I was too busy.
I just thought there was a sports correlation.
No, I'm sorry. So after high school, I got my first job, my first 40-hour-a-week job, and it was working at a florist. And the first thing I did was took orders, worked the front counter. Then I learned how to be a delivery driver, and I had the best time because it was in Burbank, California, and I did a lot of deliveries to all the studios. And then after that, I was starting to learn how to design. So I was there for about a year and a half. I learned so much. at the florist. That was a cool job. So, yeah.
My first job was at AAA Automotive, which is no longer there. And it was on the corner of Saticoy and Woodman. If you look it up in the San Fernando Valley, there used to be a
near your
gas
house.
station. Yeah, really close.
Yeah.
It was a gas station and a Foster Freeze where they sold ice cream in the baseball helmets.
God, that was so close to my grandfather's place.
And down the street, a block was Kaiser Hospital and Mike's Pizza. And AAA Automotive, Ray Trevino was the guy who owned it.
You know, my grandpa lived across from St. Genevieve's there.
Yeah.
That was very close to where you were.
I told this story on a live stream like 3 years ago. And I said AAA Automotive, the guy's name was Ray Trevino.
I remember this.
And I worked there and, he taught me how to do this. And he was I remember him sitting in this, he's a big, tall Mexican guy and big mustache, big black hair. He's sitting behind his desk. Can you imagine an old mechanic shop, this old
like you
office room? No, this is old school. He puts his feet up on the desk. He goes, "So, you want to be a mechanic, huh?" And, I was like, yeah, I guess so. I'm 16. He taught me a bunch of stuff. A great guy, honest as the day is long. So I tell this story 3 years ago, and about 3 months later, his son got a hold of me and go, "That was my dad. That was my dad's shop. He's not doing well. He was older at the time, but he goes, "That was my dad. It was so nice to hear you say that." How would you ever think you're going to bump into his son? Or the guy's son would be listening to Gen X Talks.
For sure.
So that was my first job.
You don't realize that. That's awesome.
We reconnected, and I said, "Well, you tell your dad thank you," because he was very instrumental in my beginning years of automotive. So that was one.
Awesome.
What was your very first car that you ever drove, like on your own, that was yours? You didn't have to own it, just your very first car.
68 VW Bug.
79 Pinto, bright red with fake red interior. Had red carpet, red steering wheel, red seats, red everything, red headliner. That was me.
I loved my Bug.
I hated my Pinto. No way to get chicks in a Pinto.
I used to take that to softball practice and see how many girls I can get into my Bug to get to practice.
You know how many girls I could get into mine? 0.
None. None.
Oh, the other question was, when, if you can remember, when did you know you fell in love with each other? What was the moment you knew?
The moment I knew.
Like, you're like, that's the guy, forever, gonna get married, ready to go, that's the guy.
When we were discussing foster care. We were just discussing it.
Yeah?
And for me to know that you could love somebody else's kids no matter what,
because to be fair to the audience, I was doing foster care before we were married.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we were discussing doing it
right.
together and stuff like that. And I just knew that if you could love somebody else's children, that was just amazing to me. I just thought that was...
My moment was at that kiss in Valencia when I told you, because you had asked me about saying I love you or I love you stuff, and I said, "Wait, I need to see you." And you're like, "Why?" Do you remember what I said?
I have to look in your eyes.
I said, I have to look in your eyes.
That's right. And
then I'll know, because I would know if you were I could tell. I'm very good at relationship stuff, and I would be, okay, this is a fling, or this is, she's a gold digger, or whatever it was going to be. And when I looked at you, and I'd known you my whole life, but I needed to see if there was any amount of sincerity in your eyes, and there was a ton. Mm-hmm. That moment, I was like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. And it was that moment. So another question was, have you ever come close to divorce? Have you turned on each other?
No, I never have.
Yeah, for me, last Thursday. Oh, God. Thursday was a bad day.
No,
I don't think I've ever come close. I don't think I've ever even considered leaving you. Like, not even. Me
either.
Not at all. It's never been an option. It's always been.
Marriage is not easy.
No.
But it doesn't get to the point of divorce. No,
I don't think so. I can't, even in the worst fights we've ever been in, that's never been an option. It's like, well, here we go again. I better pack up my stuff. And that didn't even cross my mind.
Me either.
So, when you were both in high school, they asked, did you guys ever look at each other and even imagine you'd be where you are today? Well, considering you didn't like me in high school, not a chance.
And I didn't even know he was there for the time that you were there.
What do you mean you didn't know? I was like the most popular kid in school.
I had no way. I had no idea you were there. That's so funny.
That's not funny at all. I don't find that funny. I don't find that even a little bit funny.
That's pretty funny. I think it's hilarious.
Well, I never looked at you and thought I'd be married one day. There was like 6 girls I had in mind ahead of you.
Oh, brother. Ahead of me.
Ahead of you. Yeah, way ahead of you. Sure.
So you're slumming.
Yeah, I was at the time. Now I feel
You're
like
slumming.
No, I'm not. You weren't my first choice.
Oh, so you settled.
Compromise.
Thanks a lot. Wow. So there were 5 girls ahead of me that were better.
No, there were just other options.
You can't back up now. Wow.
All right, next question. If you were raised in the city, is that why you guys wanted to live in the country? Because they know we were in the city of Los Angeles, the county, suburbs, and then in Bakersfield, it's kind of rural city. But now we're going to way out in the middle of nowhere. They want to know if that was, and I know where they're going with this. Most people that were raised in the country can't wait to grow up and get to the city.
That's pretty common.
Most people that are grown up in the city can't wait to get away and get out in the country.
I think I've always wanted the country. I've been a lot like my dad. Like my dad, we've talked about this. My dad and I had talked about this. My dad had always wanted to move out of the San Fernando Valley because Canyon Country at the time was very rural. He wanted to go out there.
Right.
He wanted land. Back then, you could buy land back there. He wanted to do that and do a farm and stuff like that. My mom's the one that said no. She put a kibosh on that. My mom is a city girl, born and raised in Chicago, was going to stay there. I was more like my dad. I would have loved to have chickens and,
I loved growing up where I did. I loved growing up in the 80s in the suburbs of LA, going to the beach, going to the mountains, all the things we did there. The weather, the temperature at night, all the things that there was to do, from miniature golf to movies to indoor malls and arcades. And there was go-karts growing up. And then when you're a teenager, you can go to the drive-in and you can drive all over. There's city lights. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But that was growing up between the age of like 11 and maybe 19 to 20 or 21. I couldn't pick a better place to be.
I agree.
At 40, at 50, I do not want to be in that valley. I do not want to be in the suburbs of Los Angeles.
We were living the fast-paced life for sure and didn't realize it.
No, I want to go. I need to go farther away.
But now I get it. Now that we're older, I get why my dad wanted the country and I get why my brother wanted that and stuff like that. But no, I agree with you. Growing up, I wouldn't change a thing, but there's something in my heart that wants.
No, it's time to just go. It's time to move out to the next phase. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the city. No. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any city. People say, how can you live in Bakersfield? It sucks. Well, there's parts of Bakersfield that are horrible and parts that are great. People will say that about Las Vegas. Oh, I could never live in Sin City. Las Vegas is horrible. There's some great places in Las Vegas I could live. And that's the truth. And people, every time someone moves out of a city, oh, I hate that fucking place, that shithole, I'm never going back there. Well, you just shit on everybody who does live there, dipshit. What a fucking stupid thing to say. And the truth is,
there's some people that can't get out of there.
The truth is, there are good places to live and bad places to live in every town.
Agreed.
So we've been fortunate to not, the die has been cast where we didn't end up in tougher places to live. And I'm not saying people are saving up their money to move to Bakersfield, California. I don't think anybody's doing that. But you can carve out a very wonderful life here at a very reasonable price. And we raised our kids, and it's time to move on. Do I want to retire here? No, I think I'd like to go someplace a little further out, a little quieter.
Yeah, but we did hear from the realtor yesterday that a lot of LA people are moving.
Yeah, tons of LA people, especially with the fires. It's not just the fire victims. It's the fire victims
and the cost of living
and people around them. It's like the whole town's like, okay, yeah, you're moving because your house burned down. I'm going with you because I can't do this anymore. But they need to be able to get to LA to work.
Right.
There's a lot of people that jump up over the Grapevine to work every day. Sure. They'll drive an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half home. It's not impossible. So there's, the influx of people coming out this way. There's new homes being built all the time. Well,
what do I say to you? What do I say to you when we see a new housing tract going in?
Where are these people coming from?
I'm like, who's coming out here to buy
this? Well, our house will be for sale, and we're moving a little further north. And I think the next place we move is kind of our forever home. I think so too. I think we'll be done there. So that kind of rounds out the podcast. I don't know how entertaining that was, but we got through some stuff. I don't have a car story today.
That's okay.
I'm going to have to skip one till next week.
That's okay.
I will say this. public knowledge now, Two Bear doesn't work at that car dealership anymore. He's been at that car dealership down there in Fontana 32 years, and the owner just decided to close it up one day.
Pull the rug out from underneath.
All those mechanics that have been there for years. Two Bear had been there 32 years at that dealership, and just gave his heart and soul to that place. That dealership, as far as independent car dealerships go, I've never seen one better in my entire life.
You loved it. If you could have bought that thing.
Oh, I'd have bought that in a heart. I've never seen a place better set up than that. I was like, this is absolutely amazing, well thought out, plenty of room for everybody. Their sales and service department, their detail and wash bays, they had a bank on the property for financing.
Yeah.
It just was an incredible place.
I bet you back in the day, 30 years ago, that was out in the middle of nowhere and the town grew up around them. That's what it looks like. It looks like they bought this big, huge piece of land.
And just kept building. And they did it right. They kept building correctly. I have never seen an independent dealership that was so well thought out and run like a well-oiled machine, and just to have it gone. I mean, we're not going to car show this year. There's no car show down there.
It's weird.
It's in a big empty lot now, but yeah.
Don't know what that guy was thinking. But.
No, don't. That's just a business you'd built for 30 or 40 years, and then just to walk away from it. I don't get it. But anyway, so now you guys know what I know. There's my car story. That's like the fifth yawn. There's my car story for the day. There's no more car dealerships. Anyway, that's it. I think we're done for right now. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Oh, good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening in. Wherever you're tuning in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're listening in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. Number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.
Bye.
It goes. Nobody really knows, and it doesn't really matter now.